going to show you exactly how you can build a front-end dashboard and application just like this on the screen now. And we're going to be able to connect this to n8n and our AI agents and our workflows to be the back end for our application. And this could be a fully fledged app or website that you could deploy. And the best part about it is that we're going to be able to build this entire interface using no code whatsoever. But let me show you this dashboard in action. So right here, we have sort of like a lead researcher dashboard. It's pretty basic, but it does show you all the concepts that you need to know to understand exactly what the benefit here is of building out this kind of dashboard. What we can do on this application is provide a full name of somebody that we're looking to research. We can provide an occupation as well as a business name. So I've just filled out these details right here. I put Alex Amosi is the CEO of acquisition.com. I've thrown all of those values in there, and I'm going to go ahead and click research lead. That is then going to be connected to n8n, which is then going to get processed through the first lead researcher agent. So I'll show you that in action. I'm going to click execute workflow to turn this on. I'm then going to come back to Replit, which is the platform that I'm going to show you exactly how we can use to build this application. And if I just click research lead, that is literally going to send a request over here on n8n to our lead research agent. It's going to process the response to the research of this particular individual. And we'll see right here, we're going to get the response back for the research. And then we go Alex Amosi, a bunch of details about him and whatever. We can then click this button at the bottom here that says score lead. So this isn't just sort of a one-time webhook request. We can start to string multiple agents and workflows, a part of our n8n system together. And you can see here, I've got a bit of a setup that is going to allow us to do this. And so obviously later in the video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. But you can see we've got a lead scoring agent, which is waiting to be triggered. I can hit the score lead button. And there we go. I just got back the lead score of 9, and going back to n8n, we can see our lead scoring agent was triggered as well. I was able to string together two completely separate agents to our dashboard here and have them ran independently of each other, yet still be contained within the one workflow here on n8n. Hopefully that makes sense and you can understand the big benefit here of being able to build out a custom dashboard like this.
Hey guys.
Connect it into our existing n8n workflows and have them all connected together in one workflow run. Before I dive into exactly how I was able to do this and then going on to build another application and another workflow to further demonstrate it, I do want to run through the use case of building out a custom dashboard like this compared to some of the alternative methods for communicating with our n8n workflows right now. If you are an experienced builder here on n8n, you probably are already familiar with the fact that there isn't a whole lot of options for interacting with these workflows. We don't necessarily
Hey guys.
have an easy interface to
Hey Applauser.
communicate data off to our workflows to process and give us responses back. The closest thing that we do have is the n8n forms. If I just type form up here, we can generate web forms in n8n and pass the responses to the workflow. So I can click on this and we're able to create pages. This is a very basic
Hey user.
send data. Of course, it's essentially one page, one static box that allows us to add words to sort of form submissions, as well as maybe upload some documents, and all of that information can get sent into our workflow, which is great for a good amount of use cases. But there's obviously a lack of flexibility when it comes to customizing
Hey Carol.
the way in which you want people to use the platform. And if it is going to be some sort of an application with users involved or an internal application where it just needs that extra level of flexibility, building out a custom dashboard, using a tool like Replit, let's dive in and learn how to do it. Ultimately, Replit Agent is a vibe coding platform. This just means we're able to send plain English off to the agent right here on the left-hand side. It's able to take our request and then start to code.
Hey Katie.
It's going to take our request and turn it into usable code. So we could tell it to build a dashboard
Hey Chris.
for a lead researcher, which is
Hey
what I
Reshma.
did right here. And it's able to come up with the design. It's able to come up with all of the things that it thinks would be necessary to build out that application. And you're going to get exactly this. If I scroll all the way up to my first message here to this Replit agent, you'll see that I said, can you create a lead researcher app? It should be a form that allows me to upload a name, occupation, and business name.
Hey Denos.
The app
Hey Marco.
will send this off in a request to this particular webhook. This webhook will produce some results about the person we are researching, and you need to display this output on the page for the user to see the results. Please suggest anything that this app could include. So that was my initial request that I sent over to Replit. From that, it was able to really piece together everything that you can see on the screen now. and turn it into a fully functioning interface. And obviously, as vibe coding goes, not everything is going to go to plan and work right out the gate. You can see here I did run into an error when it came to the webhook, and I literally just told it doesn't look like the webhook got hit. Then it tried again. I told it to try fix it again. It came back and it started working. So I just told it to fix the problem, and it was able to fix it. Once again, I'm going to build a brand new app from scratch so you can get a really good idea as to exactly how to build this and how to talk to the agent to get a good app working. But before I do that, I'm just going to run through the n8n workflow here so you get a good understanding as to how I've thought about structuring the workflow here with an interface like the one that I've built. Initially here on n8n, I have a webhook right here, which is a post request webhook. This is the main trigger for this workflow. This is going to be key in order, and this is going to be key to get our application to talk to n8n. Essentially what's happening is that the webhook to trigger the conversation is going to be given to our Replit agent right here. Pretty much when we hit the research lead button, these three values are going to get sent off to that particular webhook. That is going to get detected by n8n, and we're going to have all of those values to use throughout the agent. So it is a very basic webhook request to get it connected. Right after that step, we've got the lead researcher agent. So this is a particular agent which I have prompted to look at the information from the webhook request. We can see here we've got the name, occupation, and business name. I've prompted it to be a lead researcher to look through the person and actually do some research. And in order to do that research, I've actually connected Perplexity as a tool to this agent. And this just gives us much more accurate and relevant information as it's doing a search of actual websites rather than relying on the large language model and the information that it was trained on. So once the lead researcher agent has completed, it's got its response, it's then going to hit a respond to webhook. So the respond to webhook does exactly what you think it does. It responds to the webhook and sends it back to where it came from. So we can have a look in here. I'm sending off the research that it's done, and that research comes back to our Replit agent here and then gets displayed on the page like you saw earlier. And in order to get our Replit agent here to actually see that data coming back, we just need to talk to the Replit agent like we're talking to a developer. In the case of this response to webhook, we'll see here that the information is stored within the research value right here. I just needed to go to Replit and tell it that the information is stored within the research value, and then it's able to look through the requests that have previously came through. It's smart enough to pick that up and then rewrite the entire code to handle that.
Hey, Richard.
Right after this, we've got a wait step, and this is really important and pretty critical if we are going to be building multiple different agents for the one workflow that we want to have running on our application. And just to make it super clear, the reason that we would want all of our agents and all of our workflows within the same run itself is so that we can reference data from a previous agent into the next agent. For example, I'm obviously going to want to take the research that was done on a lead and reference that in a lead scoring agent. And if these agents were completely separate and required completely different webhooks, we wouldn't easily be able to reference that data from the previous agent. Now, what we could do is set these up as completely separate agents with completely different webhooks and run those requests individually. Although this does mean that we would need to then store the lead researcher information over in Replit somewhere and then retrieve that information once again and then send it off in the webhook, and then it will be seen by the lead scorer. So it does just make it a little bit more complicated, and this is a much more streamlined way to do it. So jumping into the
Hey, Michael.
right here, this wait node is probably a little
It's
bit
3 a.m. Hey, Blue.
It's not just going to wait a certain amount of time waiting for another request to come through.
I'm live in Australia.
Options for actually using this step. Just having a look at the list here, you can see that this node is quite a bit more powerful than you probably.
How come you're awake at 3 a.m.?
We've got the after time interval. This is your standard wait time, so wait for a certain amount of time. We could click that and make it wait 1 hour or 2 hours. Below this, we've got at specific time, so this just waits until a specific date and time. So that would
Hey, son. Hey, locked in.
All the way at the bottom, we've got an on form submission. So this is going to be more used when we have the form submission. We can do the same agent flow setup and use the on form submission in the wait call. But for our case, obviously, we're going to be using the webhook call. So on webhook call, waits for a webhook call before continuing. And this is really powerful. This isn't just waiting a certain amount of time. This is literally waiting until a webhook gets hit again. And so that means that this information is going to be stored on the back end in n8n, and this isn't going to expire. Even after 2 or 10 years, this is still going to be waiting for that webhook to come
Oh,
through.
nice, man.
And when it does, the rest of the agent is going to be wrong. Once that
It's
again,
addictive, isn't it? You just go down wormholes.
Agent and just continue the workflow as it would have had normally. So we're able to then reference the information from the lead
What are you learning at the moment, Michael?
To inject additional information at this step as well, we could do that to the wait node. We're able to just send additional information because we get the second chance to do that. We can send all of that to the lead scoring agent to process using a respond to webhook. Finally, we're able to send that back as normal. Hopefully that makes sense. This is obviously quite a streamlined, quite a basic example here, but we could definitely make this a lot more complex. We could just
Evil.
to add 5, 10 more agents and workflows and automations to this particular scenario, and then we could just add more wait steps and more respond to webhooks, and it will be able to continue forever. And we're able to build that entire workflow, and then obviously come back to our Replit system here, and then just build the entire application around the backend that we have on n8n. So enough of the theory. I'm going to jump back into Replit. I'm going to build a brand new application and connect it to a brand new workflow so you can get a complete understanding as to how we can do this. I might build an email writing assistant. So maybe I want to provide some information about an email that I want to write. I want our agent to write that email for me, and then we'll have maybe a secondary button to go ahead and send that email through Gmail to a real person. So I might say, hi, I'm looking to build an AI.
So now I'm learning using something like Whisper to transcribe to my n8n using doc images or something. Oh, nice. So are you trying to transcribe audio, or are you creating a voice agent?
I should send a request to this webhook, and I am obviously going to get that webhook in just a second from n8n, so we can actually reference that. Once this webhook is complete, we will receive a completed email, and you need to display this to the user. Please also provide a button for them to send this email, and once that is clicked, it will get sent to this webhook. Just having a brief look at the agent I built previously, one of the ways that we were able to actually send another request and have it come through our agent is that the first webhook actually sent us back something called a resume URL. So I have a look at the respond to webhook right here. You can see that a resume URL.
So just learning relationships, n8n is the back end, and I'm using React for the front end. Mate, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to understand what my front end should be. So I'm just checking out, I think it's going to be Replit today, as well as Lovable. Proud automation. I've built a ton of automations. Probably something to do with like a lead enrichment flow that was hooked into HubSpot, Apollo AI.io to like enrich the data, plus create sort of dynamic emails to all of those leads. So we had like a marketing campaign, I think it was, where we had, I think it was 1,000 leads or so, and they just wanted to dynamically populate information from Apollo.io and score them and so forth. So it's pretty much just like a sales workflow with a lot of moving pieces. What about yourself, man?
So I'm going to jump back into this flow. I'm just going to type in webhook, and we can get the webhook trigger right here. We can have multiple webhook triggers on the exact same workflow page right here. So I'm just going to provided by the previous webhook, I am referring to that. Just made a couple of updates to make sure that this is super clear as to what I want. So I just added this up here. When the notes are added to the email notes that I want to use to generate the new email with, there should be a button to generate the new email. So I'm being super specific as to how I want to interact with this. Then for the webhook, I said the app should send these notes as a request through this webhook to get the updated email. So super clear, super step-by-step. I obviously want this to work and be as clear as possible in order to get the best result. Coming back to n8n, obviously I now need the webhook to reference in our Replit request. So I'm going to jump back into this flow. I'm just going to type in webhook, and we can get the webhook trigger right here. We can have multiple webhook triggers on the exact same workflow page right here. So I'm just going to add that in. I'm going to click into our webhook. I'm just building this as a demo. I'm just going to use the test URL for this particular webhook. But if you were building this for a production environment where you wanted it to run all of the time, you would need to swap this over to the production URL, of course, and then activate the workflow. Anyways, coming back to here, I'm just going to paste in that URL. Replit is smart enough to understand what the webhook is and that we can use this URL to get it sent off in the request.
So myself, I go to Lovable, connect a GitHub repo, get my fork running on Windows, and then I use cursor to manipulate. Oh, right. So how good is Lovable? Is it, from what I've been reading, it's only good for like pretty much the UI, and then as soon as you got to put some complex logic on it, it's probably just better to use something like an IDE with cursor on it. Is that your experience as well?
Exactly what Replit is going to do for us. So we can see here we're going to build out a clean dashboard interface with text area for email notes input. We're going to have to be able to this particular webhook. But if you were building this for a production environment where you wanted it to run all of the time, you would need to swap this over to the production URL, of course, and then activate the workflow. Anyways, coming back to here, I'm just going to paste in that URL. Replit is smart enough to understand what the webhook is and that we can use this URL to get it sent off in the request. So hopefully it's smart enough to be able to do that. And if it isn't, we can pretty much just tell it to fix the errors when they pop up. So I just hit create and that has been sent off to Replit. It's going to go ahead and give us a couple options as to how we actually want to build the application. In just a second, we're going to get two options for this. Here we go. We've got these two options that just came up. We can have Replit build the entire app for us, or we can have it start with a design. We have a look right here. We'll get a few dot points as to exactly what Replit is going to do for us. So we can see here we're going to build out a clean dashboard interface.
Okay, cool. So I only use Lovable for the UI, so it's perfect to get from a prompt into cursor to then get the back end working.
Then we're going to have the send email button.
But like with Lovable, how is the how expensive is it with the credit consumption? So do you just pay like a fixed fee every month, or do you have to pay as you go? I don't use Lovable Superbase or anything. Yeah, so maybe I think you're right. Maybe I think we need to just get the UI done and just take the code and just build it out somewhere else, I think.
Once again, errors are likely to pop up and we can just tell it to fix them. When it comes to the choice, as we're going to display the jet that just came up, just hit create and that has.
And have you built any good any apps yet, like fully fledged AI apps yet?
In just a second, we're going to get two options for this. Here we go. We've got these two options that just came up. We can have Replit build the entire app for us, or we can have it start with a design. We have a look right here. We'll get a few dot points as to exactly what Replit is going to do for us. So we can see here we're going to build out a clean dashboard interface with text area for email notes input. We're going to have a generate button that sends notes to a specified webhook. We're going to display the generated email response.
So Lovable is free. Oh, so you don't even pay for it. You just use the free version.
Email button that posts the
Nice.
email to the secondary webhook URL.
Do you have any tips on how to prompt Lovable?
That's pretty much exactly what I said before. We are getting that next URL from the first URL to send that email off to it, so that on our agent we can actually process the email. Next, loading states and user feedback during webhook calls, and then professional minimalist UI design focused on the email writing workflow. So perfect. That's all very comprehensive. That's exactly what I wrote out, and it clearly seems to understand exactly what I'm looking for. But once again, errors are likely to pop up, and we can just tell it to fix them. When it comes to the choice as to build the entire app or start with the design, I typically go with starting with the design. I do like to see what it is prototyping as to what the app would look like, and I can provide some input before it builds out the entire thing.
So yes, I built a few micro apps, one being my website and another being astrology.
Get some lunch while this is running.
So I'm thinking like I'll be using Lovable for the UI. I'll have to get cursor, use Superbase and perhaps Versal or plan mode. So tips to prompt Lovable. I use Grok or plan mode in cursor. So wait, what is plan mode? Like, what's the workflow for that? How does that work?
I was watching this workflow build as it was obviously creating itself. I did see that it tried to actually hit the webhook that I had provided it in the initial prompt that I sent it. So what I did do is I actually hit the execute workflow button whilst it was running, just to see if we could get it to recognize that it was working. So not exactly sure if it is going to work right out the gate, but that's fine. I'm just going to run through exactly what this could look like. For my email though, I am just going to type random words just to see if this even works in the first place, or hit generate email. So yeah, cursor's my missing link.
Wait, let me just pause this. So what's cursor plan? Is it plan mode? Here we go. So cursor can now create plans, research a code base, and run longer agents. Plan mode gives the model new tools to create and update plans, as well as an interactive editor to modify plans inline. Most new features of Cursor now be given for agent writing a plan. Wow. We've seen this significantly improve the code generated. So when you prompt the agent to create a plan, Cursor researches your code base to find the relevant files, review docs, and ask clarifying questions. When you're happy with the plan, it creates a markdown file code reference. So start with. Oh. So Cursor Chat has a plan mode, age mode, and connects to code. It's Visual Studio Code. So does that mean you open Cursor before you even begin? You start with plan mode, and then it'll write down the markdown or the README file, and you can use that to create a prompt, put it into Lovable to get the UI, extract the UI from Lovable, put that back into Visual Studio Code, and now have Cursor read your entire code base and start scripting it as per the original plan. Is that how it's supposed to work? Oh, nice. Okay. I need to play with that. And then what are you using for your repo? Is it just GitHub? Like, are you using something like Vercel to push, to do, pull requests or PRs into your GitHub repository? Or you could just do it directly out of VSC, I suppose.
Failed to generate an email. Doesn't look like anything came through here. It doesn't look like we've had any.
Hey Steph, how you doing?
In the workbook right now, so I can give that another try. It doesn't look like it is actually hitting this workbook whatsoever. So what I would pretty much do is just tell the replicator.
So fork does push and pulls.
I'm not seeing a request on my end. Generate webhook sitting out in the chat. I'll hit this through, and we can again making sure that it's still listed. First request to request. I'm going to get a bunch of different models separate. Get station. If you scroll through this right.
So Lovable connects to GitHub for free. Nice.
Which is coming through as I always do when I get to rep. Once you rip it, the regime test fail. Kind of weird in particular here. We've got a lot of new lines, and these new lines are potentially messing up the JSON structure to get sent back to rep.
So where's the resume?
Respond to webhook node. It's kind of weird that it doesn't do that automatically because it's kind of obvious that we're going to be using the respond to webhook node anyways, but just make sure to everything is set up properly, although what may have happened is that...
So yeah, if you've been watching this video, I'm not sure if I like the way that he currently builds his n8n flows. Like, he keeps everything linear, and then he uses a resume URL to activate the second part. I'm just thinking whether or not that's good for modular design. Thanks, Michael, man. I hope they're getting better.
With our email in particular here, is just add in a prompt output rule. 50+ should come through related, but remember to actually populate the email using the next step. Once again, like I talked about earlier, we're not going to be doing a field like earlier. We do need to swap this over to using respond to webhook node. Next up is with. This just makes it so our replit agent will see the status as email sent, and it can execute workflow. Like, what do you think about this design? So have a look at
his workflow. Oops. Wherever it is. So do you see that? I don't know if I like that design where he's just using a wait node that's waiting for a response from the resume URL for two different actions. I think the only reason that he's doing it is so that he doesn't have to send the actual data that he got from the first webhook response in the second call. So I built a custom invoice builder for a buddy and he wanted an app. I said it doesn't need to be an app, you're on Slack, that's the app. And what did he say? So you just had like an approval, so you'd have like an approval request go into Slack and then they can review Yeah. I haven't seen the wait node done like that before. So like he's always keeping the n8n transaction open because he's continuously polling for a new response. So that's why I don't really like that. I think from my perspective, I think I just create different workflows for each of the webhooks. But it's interesting. It's an interesting way to build it. But it is confusing as well. So let's give it a go. We'll see what happens. So let's build this out. So let's go webhook. Oops. Then we'll have an AI agent model. Oops. I think it's just easier to debug, right? So if you have a smaller workflow, it's more modular, which means if anything breaks when you're building an app, you'll be able to sort of isolate which workflow is breaking. That's kind of my theory, where we'll just keep sort of different, it's like an API, right? You might have like a customer API, and you have different like sort of actions, and then you might have an order API, and then you might have a whatever API, but you kind of keep them self-contained from one another. So maybe, I don't know. Got to think about that. So let's build this out. So, so what was he doing? Cool. So you are a researching AI agents. Search the web for the information. So for information on the lead. And we'll do this. And this will be our lead scoring agent. Use the information. Score out of 1 to 10. Score out of 1 to 10 based upon how good a fit they would be, how good of a customer they would be for an AI agency, consulting agency. Cool. So we've got our researcher agent. Where did you learn the type? I just played a lot of video games when I was younger. And I think everyone was typing all the time. So I think over time I just got really, really used to it. Trust me, it sounds fast, but I probably make a lot of mistakes as well. Let's activate that, right? So we'll go to his prompt, and his prompt was this, right? So extract the prompt on the left-hand side. Can you create okay. Oops. That's another like major time savers. Just take a screenshot and just get AI to extract whatever you want it to do. except it's really slow. So let's figure this. Might just type it. So what was the actual prompt? Know the full prompt. Cool. So let's see how this will work. Yeah, so don't you have something to do tomorrow, Michael, if it's 3 a.m? And how hard is this to learn as a beginner? Did you teach yourself? Yeah, I taught myself. I self-taught myself a lot of this. So it's just through kind of trial and error, a bit of curiosity, and sort of wanting to always learn every single day. That's how you kind of learn through doing it. And what do you prefer? Google GPT, Claude, Grok, or Quem? Honestly, man, I think right now it's just ChatGPT for me. I only use Gemini when I'm doing anything with images. So if you've played around with Nano Banana, I find that's like one of the best sort of image generations at the moment. So if I need to do anything to do with images, it kind of goes to Google Gemini. If it's my day-to-day AI, then I'm going to use ChatGPT. But what I really want to explore is those UI builders. So it's either going to be Replit or Lovable. And then I need to go revisit Cursor again because that plan option sounds very, very interesting to me. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going ahead here. I'm just going to use a production URL. So we'll do that. That will be the first one. And our production URL for this one will be need to display. Oh, by the way, Michael, if you're self-hosting, are you hosting your n8n instance locally? And if so, how do you open up an endpoint? So when you want to connect webhooks to your local on your Docker, what are you using? Please. And they display output results. We then need to have a button that says score lead, and it will use the information that was retrieved in the first request, and then send that information to this webhook. Okay, see what happens. Thanks, Michael. I hope I do too, but it's probably going to be a little bit longer. How come you don't start your build in public or like start your own social media stuff? And so why are we doing that? Cool. So I am self-hosted, yes. Yes, I'm running a VPS, virtual private server, with SSL to get my HTTPS. Ubuntu backend, that was more complicated than the other stuff I was doing. Okay, yeah. Because I'm doing the same thing. I'm just using it on AWS Lightsail with easy panel hosting. And it's like super easy. Anytime I need to do a run an update, I just go into the backend, click a button, deploy, and it gets all of the updates. So it's like super handy. I started some social media stuff. Maybe we could collab. I'm new, not sure what to do. Next Gen X. Alright, dude, I'll follow you right now. Sick. Is this on TikTok or where is it? Oh, you did it in CMD. Dude, how do you run all of the updates, man? Let me follow you. Next Gentix. There we go. Oh, dude, you actually you have subscribers and videos, man. That's sick. Gentix. Nice, dude. I just subbed. Updates are easy, just not flashy. Oh, okay. See, with Easy Panel, it's just kind of like a UI where I just log in and press a button. I'm super happy. Where are we at next? So, okay, cool. So form interface, I'll include the following features. Form interface, input name, occupation, call, send, webhook, blah, blah, display, score, lead button that sends a display scoring, visual, professional, focus UI. Cool. What did the guy write? Ah, dude, nah, it's not a problem at all. So what did he do? Ah, screw it, I'll just press start building. Let me just go and sign up for Lovable. So I'm gonna do a side-by-side test and let's see which one works better. Cool, so let's see what happens here. Oh, yeah, the data tables are pretty handy. It's just like a lot quicker as well. I can't, so you saw the new data tables. I can't wait to see the n8n chat. What's the n8n chat? Let me check that out. So I'm trying to find, I'm considering whether I should get the cloud version of n8n as well, because I want to play around with their AI builder. So it's just going to be faster. You just like kind of prompt it. It builds up the n8n workflows for you. Oh wait, so we are talking about the same thing. So n8n will have its own workflow builder and you can chat with docs now, which is slightly newer. Yeah, so it's the, oh yeah. I think it's on the cloud version, man. So you're talking about this, right? And have you seen the ChatGPT AI agent thing yet? So agent builder. I want to see if this is any good. But yeah, that'll be like another day where I like play around with it. Okay, so John COO, Tim Cook, Apple. So let's research the lead. Make sure our workflow is active. Cool. Why? Why do you think ChatGPT is Skynet? What? Where's the error? Wait, so how does Lovable work? So how can I debug it? So where do I see the actual error code? Yeah, he's kind of weird. Code? Analytics? Have you used string.com to help you build on n8n? What is that? Is that gonna get me banned? Let me just see what it is. Oh, cool. So what do you want to automate? Prompt, run, edit, and deploy AI agents in seconds. No, man, I've never seen this before. I've got to add to my list of things to look at. One sec. So once Lovable thinks, add it to a GitHub repo in your account and then debug. So I've got to download it. Hey, okay, let me just see. Code Cloud. Code. Wait, that's only going to download index though, so I have to do the whole thing. Whatever, we'll see what happens here. Okay, so I guess what I'm looking at right now is literally just the UI, and it has nothing to run it in Lovable. So I'd have to like, what happened? Oh no. Top on paid. Is this gonna bill me? Whatever, screw that, I won't do it. How do I download this? Because I don't have a GitHub repo that I can just easily do right now. So if I want to download this, how do I do that? Code? Okay, cool, let's try this. Tim Cook, CEO, Apple. Send your YouTube channel again. Wait one sec. Webhook returns status 403. Okay, let's see what happens. Wait, so it's still working. So I think there's a cat symbol. You have to click on GitHub to sync the whole project. Yes, it was front end only. Describe color, layout, etc. Cursor can write Python backgrounds and LangChain. Next to the upgrade button. Oh, okay. Publish. Cool. Oh, okay, cool. See, So does that mean the only way to download from Lovable is to actually just connect it to a GitHub? Oh, that's annoying. I gotta play around with this more. Download code from Lovable. Yeah, true. So how do you download your Lovable app? I create an app as standard, but Plex, how do I get Lovable into my desktop? Okay, let me come. Should connect Lovable to GitHub, file structure. Essentially what to claim repo. Yeah, okay, I thought so. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. I think I'm done for at least tonight. Oh, hey, Dylan. I'm just starting to learn. Yeah, we're all learning here as well. Like, I am slowly understanding the concept, but Michael is literally teaching me what buttons to press and everything. So thank you, Michael. That's awesome. I guess what I'm going to do in the next stream is probably hook up my GitHub to Lovable, download it to my local, try and start playing around with Cursor, because I think that's very interesting to me. But yeah, if you guys like the stream, please don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. So thank you so much. And I'll see you in probably next week. If I don't stream on the weekend, I'll stream around this time. Maybe a bit earlier for you, Michael, because it's 3 a.m. It's a bit late for you, but yeah. Alrighty, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys. Bye.